try to cover all the bases here. Lindsey Williams is our guest. I want to open up the phones for Lindsey at the end of this hour. Specifically quick questions for him, only for Lindsey. 1-800-259-9231. By the way, we've set Lindsey back up for Friday, haven't we? What time is he on Friday so I can plug that? 1 o'clock, so we can break more of this down Central Time. Okay, Lindsey, short segment, long segment coming up. I need to, okay, so you said taking over the churches, because even if you don't believe in Christ or Christianity or even Buddha or Muhammad or any of that, they're attacking all of those, but especially Christianity, because if you don't owe allegiance to a God, you'll owe it to a state. Or if you don't owe allegiance to your family, you'll owe it to the state. They're wrecking anything that they don't control. But using the churches, as you said, with the clergy response teams, finish up with that. Let's get into the chronology and other things he said, because we didn't get to all of it yesterday.
Alex, I'm going to save until Friday the subject of money. Now, I haven't even touched on it. I didn't touch on it yesterday. I am dealing with another subject today, and I'm so glad you're going to take calls at the end of the program. Everybody in the listening audience, I'm warning you right now, please be here on Friday. I have not even told you anything about the money side of this whole situation, and the most sensitive part of anybody's anatomy is a real pocket. Now, on Friday, I will take the entire 1-hour program that Alex is allowing me to be on with him, and I'm going to talk about nothing but what this man said to me about money. I am going to give you a chronological order. Now, please understand this, and if you have any trouble with this word, look it up. I know it's a big one. I'm going to give a schedule of events in chronological order over the next 2 years of what you can expect in relation to your money, your 501s, all of these retirement programs, everything else imaginable. We did get into this subject. And so now I'm going to go back to this, but I just thought I needed to say that.
And by the way, I was wrong. You're on at noon Central. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're on the program today, please, you will want to be back here on Friday.
Okay, let's cover all the other areas. There's a lot we haven't covered. Finish up with the church takeover, and then let's go to the other issues.
Find somewhere in your Constitution, anywhere you can. You read it from end to end. You need to read it anyway. See if you can find the word separation of church and state. Now, one of the first things I learned when I lived with the elite back at Prudhoe years ago and had an opportunity to sit across the dinner table from these people, sit in their board meetings, one of the things I learned was listen to their buzzwords. Nowhere in the Constitution of the United States of America will you find the expression separation between or separation of church and state. It is a buzzword. They've planted it in your mind. They've caused the pastors to think. You see, in the Constitution and in the writings of our founding fathers, the state was ordered not to get involved with the church. The state was told to quit meddling, never meddle with the church. But the church was allowed to meddle in the state all they wanted to. Pastors used to preach electoral sermons. They talked about candidates. You can't do that today. Your hands are bound. You are literally tied.
The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That means no jurisdiction for government.
And how long are you pastors going to sit out there and be pansies? Now, please forgive me. I've been a pastor for 50 years or a minister of some type for 50 years' time. And I'm a graduate of a good Christian Bible college in college. Folks, please, get off your duff. Pastors, you ought to be preaching electoral sermons. You ought to be talking about prostitution. You ought to be talking about what's happening to our republic. You ought to be out there learning and teaching courses on the Constitution in your church. If you don't, Homeland Security has you right where they want you. You are under their finger. And whenever you attend one of these Homeland Security meetings and they suggest to you that you should need to go and get all this information from your churches, don't you realize that they are going to use this to the destruction of your church members whenever they get ready to perform what they want to do in pulling the strings 2 years from now? Pastors, you are getting set up. You literally are being used as pawns. This man went into this separation of church and state. There is no such thing. In fact, the state ought to stay out of the church. You have no business having a 501c3. In fact, you should be meddling in the state and telling your congressman what to do. And
all right, stay there. Let's get into other areas when we come back. We want to go to David, Eric, Jim, Matt, and Jim. At least those 5 calls, those first 5 on the board, and have quick questions from you can answer. And on Friday we'll finish up with the timeline and what he said would happen with money. And but there's other areas of this to cover briefly. Some of the areas we haven't gotten into yet. Some of the other notes from your discussion with this insider on things he said. Other areas we haven't covered, Lindsey.
Before the election, I was told that McCain is our man. Well, they didn't get him. You see, the elite are not divine. This new president we've got now, he made the statement the other day. Obama said, America is a Muslim nation. I beg your pardon, Mr. Obama. America is not a Muslim nation. And George Whitefield, the great reformer back in the early days of America, had a great influence on Benjamin Franklin. And I won't take time to read Benjamin Franklin's statement. It's about a paragraph long here, but I know we're getting along with time. This is one area I haven't covered. And what we've got to have, and there's only one way to turn all this around, we've got to have divine intervention. But it must be turned around, or we're going to lose the republic, just as Alex is talking about. So this is one of the areas we haven't covered yet. And I don't know where to go from there. I know we've got a lot of phone calls here, Alex, so maybe you want to take them.
Well, we're going to go over that timeline in detail on Friday, but go over some of that timeline of what he said was going to happen. Let's do that now, Lindsey.
Okay, let's see if I can find some timeline notes here right quick. I gave them all the other day on our DVD. Well,
and by the way, we're going to give that number out in a moment, but people should get ready. But, let's cover some of that now. People need to know this now, and then we'll flesh it all out Friday. But I just know you should give page after page of notes. I want more of what he told you.
Yeah, when you see more and more people working for the federal government, the more you see working for the federal government, the more they put on their payroll through everything like General Motors, Chrysler, the banks, the healthcare system, all the rest, the closer you know you're getting to it. The stock market will continue to go up and up and up and up, and whenever it gets to a peak, you will probably, I don't know what the peak will be. He didn't give me a number. But whenever you see this get so high that it's getting utterly ridiculous, watch out, because at that point we'll probably be at the end of this 2-year period, and you're going to see a major crash.
Well, that makes perfect sense. In the midst of Main Street dying, and in the midst of everything falling apart and the government federalizing everything with fiat currency it prints up, and all these select corporations operating with contracts, if you don't have the contract or you can't get the carbon tax allotment, you're shut down. They admit that's what they're doing in their own documents. They will run the stock market up as that image of everything being okay, when really it's only jacked up because it's reflecting devalued dollars. Just like gold isn't really up in price, it's that the dollar is dropping in value.
Yes, that's right. Gold, a few moments ago we were talking about the price of gold today, $1,000 and whatever it was, $50 or $60. No, gold has not increased at all. The dollar has only decreased. But gold still buys the same thing it would buy 30, 40 years ago. 1 ounce of gold will still buy that brand new suit. But that much of American paper won't buy you anything. Let's see. You are going to see our currency continue to go down in value. And when you see this dropping very rapidly, watch out. You're getting pretty close to this time